Hello everyone and welcome back. This is the very first time I do a video on my iPhone in quite a while. And I'm going to explain why. This isn't really a big review. This is just going to be kind of miniature and short. And you may be wondering, why do I have my Wii U gamepad's stylist in my hand, in my left hand? Well, I'm actually going to show you a new, not really new, but a piece of hardware that I got recently. So here it is. This is the Nintendo 3DS. This is the older version of the 3DS. This is the 2010 model. It's actually quite nice. It's still in very good condition. What you're seeing now is actually the back of the DS, of the system. It has some screws right there, the game card slot, but you'll notice, if you look up closely, the stylus that came with the system is actually missing. Why is that? I'm not sure. The kid who gave it to me said they lost their stylus that came with the 3DS, but they've still been able to use other stylus with the system. And I'm going to show you the one that came with my 3DS. I have it over here off to the side. It's very much identical, and it's pretty much the same one as the one that came with my Wii U gamepad. Except the one that came with my Wii U doesn't have these lines on it on the front where it touches the bottom. Whereas the one that came with my 3DS, the one that they provided with it, it came separate from the system, but it was packed away in the case, has these lines. It has these lines on it. Other than that, it looks very much identical. They're Nintendo-made stylus. Let me see if I can see anything else on the two. Oh, on the Wii U one, there's a bit of engraving on the back. I'm not sure what it reads. Right there, and right there, and right there. So, it's on the right-hand side of the front. If it's on the right-hand side of the front angle, the front panel of the device, or the system looking thing, of the accessory. And then there's also another two engravings on the left. So there's the two right there. And then there's the two on the other side. On the other one, you don't have any. On the other stylus, on the one that came with the 3DS, you don't have any. Now, I'm going to show you my Wii U gamepad once again, if we don't remember what the Wii U gamepad looks like for those of us that have vision. Those of you guys have vision, or at least some usable vision. This is the Wii U gamepad, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick up the device, I'm going to pick up the phone, and I'm going to flip it over. You can see my face a bit. Move myself a bit over. Pull it from the pop socket. Here's the Wii U gamepad. Now I'm going to show you what happens if I put the 3DS stylus into my Wii U, the one that came with my 3DS. So here's the slot right here, and I'm going to slide it in just gently. And look at that. Oh, it flipped over. Look at that. It locked into place. Now, you'll notice it's a bit more hidden than the 3DS's stylus, and I think it's a bit smaller by a millimeter or two, but they're very much identical. You have to put a bit of pressure with your fingernail to pull it back out, but hey, there it is. And this one doesn't fall out as easily if you were to flip the gamepad over, which is one thing I love about the stylus as soon as I figured this out. All right, let me find my other one. Okay, I can't find it. But, let me think for a second. Okay, there's the newer here's the newer stylus. Has the lines, no engravings on the side. Okay. I don't know where I left my other one, unfortunately. Oh, whatever. Oh, no, there's the one for the Wii U. Oh, no, for the 3DS. But look at this. This is an interesting looking stylist. Okay, there's my room. Here's the stylist. And I like it because it's very much identical. It's exactly the same as the one for the Wii U. Exactly the same, except for a few minor differences. Like you don't have the engravings on the side, and it's less likely to fall out. So now you can see it in there. It's like way tucked in there. And it's really efficient for what it does. Now, if I turned on my Wii U gamepad, it probably would work. I'm not sure. I played around with this, with the other stylist on my 3DS, with the one that comes with my Wii U. I played around with it on my 3DS, and sure enough, it worked. So I'm pretty sure this one would also work on my Wii U if they're cross-compatible. But yeah, there's that. Okay, there's the case for my 3DS itself. And actually, this 3DS is a heck of a lot smaller than my Wii U gamepad. Like, look at this. I put the gamepad down. As you can see, it takes up pretty much most of the screen, except it doesn't touch the edges. It just takes up all the screen. Right there. It's very unlikely for it to touch the edges. But it makes for good gameplay. There's the Wii U gamepad. I'm moving the left analog stick. And it has the D-pad, which is very much similar to that of the 3DS. The left analog stick, this would be up here, because the 3DS also came with another accessory. You had to buy it. It was the circle pad. This would probably be the circle pad up here. I don't really know what it looks like. But on the 3DS, we have a C-stick, and that's right directly above the D-pad. It's not really diagonal like the Wii U is set up, but hey, it's similar. And then you have the 4 buttons, A, B, X, Y. I'll be showing you this on the 3DS as well. And you have the shoulder L and shoulder R. And then on the newer 3DSs, you had L2 and R2, just like what you have on the Wii U gamepad and on most newer controllers. So let's actually open the 3DS itself and explore it and take a look. And this actually, the Wii U, takes the gamepad, the layout of the newer 3DS, of the newer Nintendo 3DS. So the start and select buttons are off to the side rather than all off on one row versus the home button. Now let's open the 3DS itself and look at it. I opened it up with one hand. And this is the 3DS. So you'll have the top screen and the bottom screen. Then A, B, X, and Y. I'm going to move over to a different icon just so that I don't accidentally open an app. There we go. See, A, B, X, Y. And my DS, I believe, is in Spanish right now, but I can change it. It's not too hard. I had to learn how to do it, but I memorized the way to do it. So you have a inner camera. It's not really that visible, but there it is. Let's see, A, B, X, Y. Then you have shoulder L. I'm going to flip the DS over so you can kind of see that. And then shoulder R. And the game card slot on the back. Charging port. Right there. And this does have 2 back-facing cameras. To activate the camera, the quickest way to do it at least, would be to press L and R. It makes that little noise. And then, look at that. Look in the mirror, who do you see? Hi. Now I believe L takes care of the front camera, while R takes care of the back cameras, and as well as A. There are 3 ways to get out of here. So L is using the front camera, R is using the back cameras, A is also using the back cameras. And I think when you use the touchscreen, it also does it. So what I just did now is oh, the thing is way too up close. But what I did is I tapped the bottom left-hand corner of the touchscreen. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to open the camera app again, and I'm going to show you another way to get out of here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip all this over so it's better to see. Now it's facing the screen. I'm going to press my home button. And it doesn't make a noise. It doesn't make an extra noise. So that's very unique. That's one unique thing about some of the buttons, is they don't make noise. So the touchscreen does make a noise. The home button doesn't. Now I'm going to also press my X button on here. And it makes a noise just like the touchscreen does. So that's interesting. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you put in a game card to the system. So here's the case that came with my DS. It actually came with 7 total games, but I lost one of them. And it's one I don't even play anyway, so I'll have to find it. And 4 DS games. 3 of them I'm going to get rid of. This one right here, Super Mario Brothers, New Super Mario Brothers. This is the one I'll use for my demonstration, because this does play.
Speed viewfinder, 12 minutes, DS 40 games. Viewfinder, speech off.
Regular DS games. Oh, starting to move. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the game card. It's just like a SD card, kind of. The picture or the smooth part needs to be facing down. The back pins, which you really don't want to touch too much because it can mess it up or something like that. I'm not sure. But the back pins need to be facing you when you're putting in the game card. So you're going to put it inward. So you're going to look for the back of the console. And I'm going to flip it over. Look at that. See how the card's protruding out right now? You have to push it in. It goes in. And it flipped it over immediately so I could show you what it does right there. It shows the DS logo. So I'm going to load it up. And here's the C-stick right here. Notice how mine's uncovered. That was when... I'm going to close that out now. But, my C-stick is uncovered right now because when I was playing New Super Mario Brothers 2 on here, I was moving the stick a little bit too much, and I guess the rubber thing came off. But hey, this also does give you a chance to see what below the C-stick is like. It's a bit of a different texture than the DS itself. Then you have your volume control on the left side of the device. Nothing on the right. Actually, you have a Wi-Fi switch, a wireless switch. And then just right above that, on the second screen, you have the 3D slider. And nothing on the left. On the front, you have your headphone jack, a power light, and a low battery light. So I'm going to take my game card out, and I'm going to show you how to load up a regular 3DS game. Now I'm going to show you the difference between a DS game and a 3DS game, for those of you who do not know. So here's New Super Mario Bros. 2, the sequel, of the original DS version of the game. And it's meant for the 3DS, of course. Now you'll notice, if you have vision, there's this cutout right here on the 3DS game card. That is how you know this is a 3DS game. You'll also be able to feel it. It kind of protrudes out. And just like a DS game, picture needs to be facing down, pins need to be facing up, and I'm going to put my DS game away first, and I'm going to put in my 3DS game. I'm going to flip it over. The picture must be facing down, pins facing up. I'm going to look for the game slot on the back of the device.
New Super Mario Brothers 2!
And I flipped it over real quick, and it plays the intro, and then I'm going to hit A to start. And it loads up. I'm going to show you a world here. And no, I wasn't playing on World 2 last time. I was just kind of exploring with save files and seeing how they work. But theoretically, where I last left off was World 7, I believe. And I'll show you that. I'm going to tap the screen for World 7. Right there. Oh, that's 3. There it is. Here's World 7. Okay. I'm gonna go back to World 2, because that's where I last left off on that one. Okay. I'm gonna save. Okay. And that's pretty much it. For the DS. Home. Now, to close out of a 3DS game, you actually have to hit X. It's not like a DS game where it kind of just shows a random menu. So you click X, then yes. Or A. Some 3DS games will just close out automatically as soon as you hit X. That's not the case with this one, though. A lot of games don't do that. And that's what I'm going to show you with Mario Kart 7, as that's the other 3DS game I have on here that I do play. And maybe in the future, I may actually be able to use my computer, attach my webcam to my shirt, and be able to focus it, hopefully, and do a stream, and play the rest of Mario Party Island Tour. I may do one more episode on Mario Party Island Tour on my emulator on Citra, but that's about all you'll be seeing of that game on the computer. If or whenever I can get the physical copy. Right now, Mario Kart 7, and I'm going to show you what happens when you close it up. So this is the intro for the game. You click it. Loads up. And we're lucky because the original intro plays when you load it up. So here's single player mode. And here's just all the modes. So I'm going to hit home. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you press X on this game. How it closes. Home. And that's it. So it doesn't ask you if you want to close it. There's a 3D slider. Moving it up. Moving it down. Up. Down. Up. Down. So, that's really cool. And also, the speakers of this thing, if you're wondering, they're actually located on the screen. They're like right on the screen, on the upper screen. And that shows you that this really, if you look at it, if you think about it, it really is 3D. I'm going to take the game out. I'm going to put it in my case. Okay. And that's about it, really, for the 3DS. The wireless switch on the right, the headphone jack in the front, and then the volume rocker on the left, with the 3D rocker on the upper screen on the right-hand side. So, really good system. I'm actually liking it a lot. I may as well also do some Smash gameplays with this thing. I'm not sure yet, because Smash tends to run slow on Citra sometimes, so I may not be doing that much with it. But hey, it is a really good system. It plays very nicely, and it works. And the power button for this thing is actually on the right of the start button on this particular machine. On newer 3DSs, it's actually down here, right by the power and battery light. So I'm going to shut off the console right now. I put it completely down. And it's kind of like a computer if you think about it, because it opens and closes. And you can easily take this in your pocket with you. That was one of the unique things about the 3DS and the DS. And all the handhelds from that time. The buttons do click very nicely. The face buttons do also click quite nicely. A, B, X, Y. C-stick. The C-stick in itself is actually nice. The adaptive accessory that attaches to it, the circle pad, not sure what it's like. And then you have the arrow pad, which is a little bit smaller than the Wii U gamepad's arrow pad. But it's very usable. You also have your start button, home button, and select button. So it holds very much the same setup as a Wii remote. And then the touchscreen on the bottom. Oh, flipping to the back of this thing, you have an SD card slot on here. So this little tab opens and comes out with an SD card. This is a 2 GB card, so it's not enough to store my games, especially Smash. Because I already have some other games stored on here. I have some of the DS games, and yeah, most of the DS games I don't even play. So here's the card. And here are the pins for it. Here's the card. Flip it over to the back. There's the pins. So I'm probably going to get a 512 GB card on this thing. I'm not sure yet. But, hey, it works. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked it, actually. Tell me what you think. Give me feedback, if you'd like. And whatever you think about it. If you have any questions on how it operates and how it works, I can definitely show you in another recording, in another video, how we use it as blind people. It's actually not that hard. You just need to know where the button location is, like the button placement, and you also have to be able to recognize what's on screen. So yeah. But as soon as you memorize the layout, then you'll understand. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching.